Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at Elfquest New Blood Summer Special #1, a very cool Elfquest anthology, most notably because it contains an amazing story by John Byrne. If you watch my channel, you know I'm borderline obsessed with John Byrne, so I'm super excited to bring this to you guys today. It's a new sort of experience, acquisition, revelation for me. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Okay, so I just did an interview with former editor-in-chief of IDW Publishing, and heck of a nice guy, Chris Ryall, and we talked a lot about John Byrne, but it ignited my interest to seek out like variant covers and different like offshoot projects that Byrne had that are outside of my, like, something I may not have, like, you know, Fantastic Four, Alpha Flight, X-Men, all the, you know, greatest hits. So I knew he was associated with Elfquest at some point. Wendy Pini drew a She-Hulk Elfquest influence page for She-Hulk #50 during Byrne's run. I knew they were friends. I felt like he had contributed something. So there is a story here. I'm sure there's maybe more he did. But this is an anthology. I love Elfquest. It's probably one of the first independent books I collected. I remember finding it in a comic book store, and it was like black and white in this big, oversized, almost magazine-sized format. And it was amazing. Wendy Pini's art is terrific, and I just fell in love with the world of Elfquest. And it's funny, I feel like I must have outgrown it, because I haven't really read it in years, but I was definitely borderline obsessed at the time. This cover is so cool. Looks definitely like sort of like painted 80s indie stuff, even though this is dated 92. But the lead story is written by Richard Pini, the co-creator of Elfquest, with Wendy Pini, who created Warp Graphics, which very cool, stands for Wendy and Richard Pini. So that is cool. And husband and wife team, Elfquest. I've been waiting, like, I don't know where it is, what the deal is, but, you know, I think Elfquest has popped up. The initial, like, stories of Elfquest by Wendy and Richard are, like, unbeatable. And, you know, they've had sort of resurgences, and I think they had, like, sort of like a Elfquest end recently. I'm not quite sure, but I think that they did. And, you know, there's been talk of, like, a film for years. It would make such a great film. I mean, a CGI, a cartoon, a live action. I mean, if Lord of the Rings proves it's possible, it's possible. I don't know. It would be hella expensive for sure, but worth it. Such great characters and such a great stable. Here's this opening sequence is illustrated by Wendy Pini, and this is just beautiful. You know, the original Elfquest, she would do painted covers and then do pen and ink on the inside, and I just really love her art. She's so talented. She has beautiful brushwork and just super talented. And this is what I'm most excited about, you guys, this John Byrne story. So this is about Winnow Will, and Winnow Will is like the evil elf witch protagonist of the story, great character. And this is her offspring, a half troll. What is his name again? We'll get to his name in a second. I just read this, and I can't believe I forgot his name. It's Choose Something. But anyway, so he's, like, it's such a classic, like, sinister story, like, almost Disney-esque in a way. Like, you know, how parental, you know, relations in Disney cartoons do not tend to go very well. So this is kind of cool. Evil witch, I think that's what they basically call her in here anyway. So she seduces a troll, and this is their offspring. And then she kills his father and just uses him for experimentation. So years later, he captures her. She's a shapeshifter, and he's going to exact his revenge in some fashion. And this is written, penciled, inked, and I can tell this is like during the time Byrne was doing his own computer lettering. Colored by Patti, Dave Cockrum's wife. Really pretty looking colors here, a little dark in places. I don't know, it looks kind of like that watercolor look. I'm not overly excited about this style of coloring, But then again, who am I to say? It's all subjective. It doesn't look bad. It looks good. I mean, she's a talented colorist. Honestly, it kind of looks like it's reminding me a lot of like the art from the last Galactus story. So that's kind of a good thing for sure, because that stuff is beautiful. And the pen work and illustration looks beautiful here. And I love too, because this really showcases how, you know, it's mentioned from time to time, but there is a cartoon-esque, cartoonishness quality, possibly manga influenced, to John Byrne's art that's always been there from the beginning. You know, he draws such great classic-looking superheroes, but there's this real likability to this, like, cartoonishness of the faces, I think. And he can, when he leans into it, he can definitely do it. I mean, obviously, you're drawing Elfquest, Wendy, Pini. You know, this is giving me, like, Disney vibes for sure here. And I really think it's beautiful. I love this. This is such a great shot. John Byrne, never afraid of any angle, camera angle in his artwork. Always giving us, like, bird's eye view, warm eye view, like, whatever. Like, he's always willing to slightly skew the angle, too. He's just a master of perspective, a master of his craft. Everyone knows I love his art, and I could just look at it for days. Like I said, I sort of knew he had something to do with Elfquest, but didn't know exactly what it was, and I'm so glad I finally came across that. And feel free to guide me, guys, in the comments if there's more Byrne Elfquest out there that I need to get, because this story was just so good, and I really loved it. And it's definitely, like, I mean, you know, Aesop's Fable, you know, the Grimm brothers. I mean, tragedy, you know, just cruelty, but triumph of human spirit all at the same time. It's got it all. I mean, Ghastly, he's like, I know you're hungry. Here's some breakfast. And he drops basically a bucket of chum on her. Or I guess it's a bag of chum, which is, like, even worse. Like, I would not want to go to the grocery store and see, like, bag o' chum sitting on the... You know, that would be good for the ketogenic diet. Dehydrated chum chips. Every once in a while, ladies and gentlemen, I do crack myself up. And that was definitely one of the moments right there. So let me enjoy my joke for a second. But, I mean, I hate to, like, you know, bore you. But look how good this art is. This is so good. You definitely need to seek this out. I do love the colors by Pini here. You know, they're very bright and colorful, but very sort of painterly and elevated at the same time. Two Edge. Oh my god, how could I forget Two Edge? I mean, that's kind of cool to dip into somebody's, like, mythos. I'm sure that Wendy definitely, like, guided, you know, all these stories and, you know, didn't say, hey, do whatever the hell you want, because it is kind of crazy. And it does definitely, I mean, it's kind of interesting in a way because Byrne is doing, like, Two Edge and Winnow Will, and, you know, they're more, like, not the lead characters, where I would love to see, you know, Cutter and Skywise, and at least we get Lita here, who's sending to Two Edge. Oh my god, the scandal. And if you guys know Elfquest folklore, you know what I'm talking about. But she turns him into the elf by sending with Lita. He transforms into the elf part, because, you know, he's got this sort of, like, half troll, half elf sort of conundrum of his existence. It's really a great story. I mean, it's really beautiful when it will. I mean, there's a creepy moment right here. It's super creepy. But it kind of ties into, like, you know, Greek mythology and Oedipus. And I won't, you know, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for you or get flagged by YouTube. So I'll just leave it at that. How about that, guys? But I'm telling you, it is so good. Like, it's so underrated. Like, I don't know if people, like, love and rave about the story or even really know about it, but it's like 16 or 7, I think it's 16 pages, and it is just brilliant. It is beautiful. It's such a great contribution to the Elfquest folklore, and it's definitely some of John Byrne's finest work. I really love it. You know, I'm always so focused on the art, and I feel like I take Byrne's writing for granted, but it's at moments like this and stories like this that I'm reminded of what a great and beautiful what do you call it, artist, or I'm sorry, poignant, meaningful, and important writer John Byrne is to comics as well, in addition to being one of the best, you know, superhero artists, cartoonists, what have you. And then here's this other story. Terry Beatty, Wendy Lee, Gary Cato. I'm not so familiar with a lot of these, but we do get to see Cutter and Skywise here. And I feel like that's a young Cutter. Was Skywise his uncle? I mean, I don't remember. I would just remember being so obsessed with it and loving it so much. And this art is fun and cute. A young Rayek. Is that a young Rayek? I loved Rayek. I thought he was kind of the smoldering bad boy foil too. I mean, it's very like, you know, and I think that, you know, that's the key to the success of something like Elfquest, like the universal themes and the timelessness of it all. You know, it's just like such a brilliant body of work. It's so amazing. I love this, like super hippie vibes. I mean, elves are kind of hippies in a way, aren't they? Living in communes and free love with their skinny bodies and long hair and pointed ears, 3 fingers, you know. Art by Ken McCroney. And it's so weird because I feel bad to say, like, I'm so unfamiliar with so many of these artists. And maybe they're perhaps, I mean, I guess a lot of them are indies, and I perhaps wasn't so knowledgeable of the indies at the time. So I'm going to forgive myself because at least I'm discovering them now, and they're really, really pretty and fun art. I love this cartoonish style. It is so cool. This just goes to show, like, what a great vehicle Elfquest is for the anthology approach. You know what I mean? On one hand, I'm always, like, such a purist that I would want nothing but, you know, Wendy, Pini, Elfquest. But if you can get, like, brilliant versions of, like, this, especially Byrne, thank you. Yes, I'll take it. Loving the art here, Bill Neville. Like, I would, like, totally seek this guy out some more. He looks like a great cartoonist. Like, I love this. It's, like, giving me sort of, like, Ralph Bakshi vibes or something fun like that. So, definitely into that style. Maybe, like, a little Kyle Baker. If Kyle Baker did, like, straight up pen and ink, perhaps. I don't know. But then, again, like, you know, Warner Brothers still at the same time. So, definitely loving this. I need, like, any recommendation you guys want to give me for brilliant cartoonists that I need to seek out. I'm, like, sort of feeling that vibe lately, just because of things I've read and conversations I've had with artists and things like that. Their animation is such an important part of comic book art because, in a way, you're trying to convey an animated sort of process on the flat page. So to study animation is an integral part of any artist's education, I feel. I invite you to seek out animators and great animation. I know you all love it. If you're watching this, you have to, of course. It is no fluke. This is kind of a cool, like, very, like, different kind of thing for Elfquest, and I really love that. That is so cool, like street art. Great pinups. Oh my gosh, Tom Taggart. That is a beautiful shot of Rayek. I mean, look at those eyes. Is that not amazing? I low-key want to draw Elfquest right now. Maybe I will after I hang up. And I say hang up because I feel like I'm on a phone call with my friends when I talk to you guys in these videos. And I know you feel that way too. Anyway, do you like when I laugh at my own jokes? Hit like, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share my content. Let's get my subscribers to 1 million by the end of the day, guys. I don't think it's too hard. Look at this beautiful art. I'm loving this so much. I might have to, Byrne or not, I think I'm going to have to find out the rest of the series because it is truly beautiful. Winnow Will, what a great Disney villain she is. This is also, Disney, buy this. I mean, and make it. If that's the only way it can happen, then make that happen. Who's happening next? Anyway, wasn't that fantastic, you guys? So good. The complete Elfquest. Love that. Anyway, beautiful art. One of my favorite franchises ever. So amazing. Elfquest is the bomb. And John Byrne's contribution to this is epic, legendary, iconic. So fun. Thanks for watching, you guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit like, and then come back for more. I'll bring it. All right. Thanks, guys.